The next step of this project is to make the shaped edges for the drop leaf. You could potentially just leave it as a straight edge and just put a regular hinge on, but that kind of looks weird, and what ends up happening is that gap will always be there, and if you eat at the table, crumbs will fall through and to the floor as if they wouldn't with the shaped edges, but not as quickly. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to use shaped edges, and I'm going to use a router bit, and I'm going to use one router bit to make this, which is a 1/4 round router bit, and then I'm going to use another router bit to make that, which is a cove bit. And here are the two bits I'm going to be using. Here's the cove bit. It's going to be for this piece here. And here is the 1/4 round bit, which is going to be for this piece here. I'm going to use it on my router table, and it shouldn't be that bad. I neglected to mention earlier that when doing the tabletop, you're going to put the top down on your router table, or if you're using a handheld router, then you're going to use the top up. And then when you do the wings, you're going to do the bottom down, unless you're using a hand router, and then you can do the bottom up. Then it will interlock. So now I need to dial in the cove bit, and that's going to be a little tricky because I have to, if I go too thick, if I go too much out of it, then then what ends up happening is it's not going to work right, and if I don't do enough, then it's not going to work right. So just got to do just right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak up on it. I'll do a little bit at a time. I'll do bigger chunks at the beginning, and then I will, as I get closer and closer and closer, then I will do smaller passes. Okay, the cove in the 1/4 round is cut and completed for both leaves, and now the next step is going to be putting hinges on. Now, one of the things is with these hinges is, here's an example. Basically, your joint is like this, and what you need to have is the barrel of the hinge right about here, where the right there, so that way when this folds down, it'll fold like that. So it's going to be kind of tough to do, and I've never done it before, but we will give it a shot and see what happens, and that's what we're going to do next. The mortise for the hinges have been cut, and now it's time that I'm gonna just about ready to install them. And the problem is that the barrels need to be down on the hinge. And one quick way to determine which way the hinge is supposed to be mounted is you can look at the hinge for the countersink, and the countersink's here, so this is supposed to be where the screw head is, which is out, and no countersink here, So that's supposed to be down towards the wood. And again, the barrel is down. So to cut the relief for the barrel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a 1/4 inch upcut router bit, and then before I do that, I'm going to be very careful to mark where I need to do the cutting, and hopefully I won't blow through, and I will hopefully this will come out all right. I just recorded a really good demonstration of what I plan on doing, and it came out really good. I didn't hem and haw, I did not and ah. It came out perfect. Problem is I recorded it in time lapse. So here's what I got. We have all the mortises completed and ready to take the hinges. However, there's a darn good chance I did not cut these mortises perfectly square. As a matter of fact, if they're even close to square, I'd be surprised. So this is how I'm going to resolve this situation. I'm going to go ahead and install the hinge with only one screw in each side and leave it somewhat loose. Then, once that is done on all 3 hinges on the board, I'm going to fold up this wing, and then I'll install the other 2 hinges, screws on each one of the hinges, and then I'll tighten all 6 screws down on each of the 3 hinges, and that will ensure that these hinges are square, and it'll probably keep these hinges nice and loose from turning. Well, that idea worked perfectly. Look how nicely this folds up and down. That is perfect. It's no binding at all, and it folds just the way it should. Sometimes my crazy ideas work just fine.
Yeah, right.
Good. Finally, after every woodworking project, you should always count your fingers. You end with 10. Good job.